Hey, y'all really liked it last week when I talked about the Navette rings, and so I thought I would talk about something else that's very antique. So this is, right, it's a pendant or a necklace, whatever you want to call it. It's a really pretty diamond pendant on a chain. This is a special piece, I would say, because it is antique. It is from the early 20th century, and you can see it has all these beautiful diamonds, and I'm trying to get this to show up for you guys. Diamonds, and then it has this one little sweet pearl at the bottom. The piece is like almost like a fringe, and we would call something like this a lavalier. These French pieces are, it's basically just a fancy term for a pendant on a chain, but it was the term that was used in the time period. There's some kind of historical significance to the name, and I'm not going to get into it because it doesn't really matter. But you can see in a piece like this that it literally looks like the diamonds are floating at the bottom. So how did they do that? They did that by doing something called knife edge. So the metal is actually flat along the side, and then when you look at it from the front, it's super, super fine. So it literally looks like these little diamonds, and then the little pearl is floating in midair. When you put it on your skin, or in my case on a sweater, you just see this like beautiful design with very little metalwork. Now, this is extremely difficult to execute. It is not for your regular jeweler. This is somebody that really knows what they're doing. And this piece is made out of platinum. And if you look on the side, it has, let me find them for you because it will make me go blind trying to see it. These itty bitty baby touch marks that let you know it's actually platinum and that it's French. Where are you? Haha. So they're not where you might think to look, which would be on the clasp, they're actually right here. And of course you can't see them, but you just have to trust me that they're there. It's actually a little stamp that's called the head of the Greek doctor, and it just means that it's platinum. And it's French, and it's of a certain time period. So that's this piece, and that's what you call a negligee. I mean, I'm jumping the gun. It's what you call a lavalier. When you get into it, there is another type of lavalier. This is like a subcategory, I guess you could say, called a negligee. And this is also a French term, but negligee means kind of careless and casual and just thrown on, right? So for example, if you are the kind of person that wears leisure wear at home, but maybe it's a little sexier and maybe it's like a silk slip kind of thing, we also refer to those things as negligees. It means just that something that you literally just throw on when you're in a hurry. And so that is describing the uneven nature of these pendants. So this is a really beautiful, one of my favorite pieces in the entire store, just because it is chock full of antique elements. So you've got a paperclip chain that's out of platinum, and then you have this absolutely beautiful, exquisite drop that is a negligee. So you see that one end naturally hangs lower than the other end. We also have this beautiful knife edge work, but in this piece it's actually made out of 18 karat yellow gold topped with platinum, which is even more exquisite in my opinion. And probably a lot of people's opinion. It's not the easiest thing to execute as a jeweler. That is an understatement of the century. And it has also little marks. I'm trying to find them for you. Aha, they're right down here. So also on the knife edge, there are these little marks. And in this case, I couldn't really identify them. I just called them European touch marks because I didn't know exactly what they were. But like I said, sometimes you have touch marks at the bail or the clasp of the chain, and sometimes you have them somewhere hidden on the pendant, and you just have to be patient and look. And sometimes what looks like a dent is actually a mark that will tell you a story about where the piece was made or where it came from. So these pieces are turn of the century. You can call them Edwardian or you can call them Art Deco. If they have the French mark, like this one, we tend to call them Belle Epoque. If they don't, it just has a European mark, I just try to date it as closely as I can. I call this early Art Deco. It has a lot of Edwardian elements, but it's also very geometric, so might as well go that way. It has a little calibre cut sapphires in here that are actually synthetic. These sapphires are natural, and it's all little diamonds. There's little rose cuts in the top as more complicated cuts in the bottom. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about lavaliers and negligees. And oh wait, I was gonna hold this one up so you could see it. I mean, it's just so pretty. They're so pretty, they're so wearable. They're expensive because they're rare and they're fantastic. Well, these are anyway. Compared to something similar that's modern that might just be a single diamond or might just be cast out of one piece. These pieces have so much movement and they're so detailed. Anyway, it's always a pleasure to find them, especially in this kind of fabulous condition.